Most of your suffering comes from trying to control the wrong things. You try to control outcomes, how people react, if they appreciate you, if the project works, if the algorithm likes you, if life finally delivers the result you think you've earned. And when reality doesn't go your way, you feel betrayed. The brutal little truth is you control almost nothing. Not nothing, but much less than your ego would like. You don't control results, you don't control timing, you don't control other people's moods, opinions, or the particular way someone decides to misunderstand you completely. What you control is much smaller, but also much more powerful. Your attitude and your effort. That's it. And if you accept this, not intellectually, but in your body, at the moment something goes wrong, life gets lighter. Not easier, lighter, because you stop trying to emotionally manage the entire universe. We all know this already. I can't control everything. We say it, we nod at it, we put it into our notes, and then someone doesn't reply. You work hard and the result is average, someone cuts you off in traffic, and the philosophy disappears. We are back to arguing with reality. But I tried, but I deserve better, but they should have understood. Viktor Frankl spent 3 years in Nazi concentration camps. He lost nearly his entire family. He had every reason to be destroyed by what he couldn't control. Instead, out of that horrible experience came out one of the most powerful ideas in psychology and philosophy. That the last freedom available to a human being when everything else is stripped away is the freedom to choose your response to what happens. He called it the space between stimulus and a response. That space is small, but it's yours. The question is not, was I treated fairly? The question is, what do I do with the space I have? Attitude is how you meet reality. Effort is what you do with it. That's the whole game. Attitude is not pretending everything is fine. It's not performance optimism. It means, can I face this without becoming smaller? Can I stay honest without becoming bitter? Can I accept the situation without surrendering my agency? There is a huge difference between this is unfair, so I'm done, and this is unfair, but I can choose how I respond. The second sentence gives you your power back, because now your life is not completely controlled by what happens to you. Something bad happens, yes, it hurts. You feel disappointed, angry, tired, human, but after the first emotional wave, there's still a question, what kind of person do I want to be in response to this? Then comes effort. Not a philosophy of grinding. Effort means what is the next useful action, not the perfect action, not the dramatic one, the useful one. Send the message, do the workout, practice the skill, apologize if needed, sit down and do the obvious thing you've been avoiding while pretending to think about it. Effort is rarely heroic. Most of the time it's you alone doing the next small thing when no one's watching and nothing's guaranteed. This is where most people stall, not from weakness, but because they keep waiting for certainty before they act. Will this work? Will people respond? Will I succeed? You don't get certainty first. You give effort first, then reality gives feedback. That's the whole contract. When you obsess over outcomes, you become fragile, because every result is checking your worth. One bad day means I'm failing. One rejection means I'm not enough. One awkward conversation means I'm bad at people. Attitude and effort protect you from that. They remind you this result is information, not your identity. It is just feedback, not a sentence. If you only value effort when it gives you the exact result you wanted, you don't actually value effort, you value control. And life will make you pay for that, because some days you'll do everything right and still lose. You can be kind and still be misunderstood. You can prepare carefully and still fail. You can make something genuinely good and still have it ignored. That's not pessimism, that's how reality works. The question is not, can I guarantee the result? The question is, can I become the kind of person who keeps showing up with a clear attitude and serious effort even when the result is not guaranteed? So attitude and effort, that's all you can control. It sounds small, almost disappointing, like you were promised a control panel but were given just 2 buttons. But those 2 buttons matter more than almost anything else, because attitude decides if reality makes you wiser or more bitter, and effort decides if your values stay theoretical or become real. You can't control if people understand you, but you can control if you communicate clearly. You can't control whether you win, but you can control whether you prepare. You can't control whether life is fair, but you can control whether unfairness turns you into someone you don't respect. You can't control the whole story, but you can control the next sentence, and that is enough to begin again.